Last week I told you a little story about how Lake Hollingsworth got its name and why. Well, today we're going to fast forward a few years to the boom years and see how Lakeland partied in the 1920s. We're also going to take a look at the top 4 structures built during this grand time, at least in my opinion. So stay with me. This is going to be fun. Even after nearly 100 years passing now, some of the many iconic structures built in Lakeland during the fastest growing period still defines Lakeland as the crown jewel of Central Florida. By the 1920s, Lakeland was flourishing. The railway system being in full force by then was a huge game changer. Back in 1885, when Abraham Munn founded Lakeland, did you know that Lakeland had a very short-lived arch nemesis just south of Lake Parker, a city called Acton? Acton had a church and a train depot before Lakeland. However, under mysterious circumstances, Acton's train station was burned down and a new one was built in Lakeland in 1906, giving Lakeland a huge jump on the coming boom era. People were coming down in droves. They were taking advantage of Central Florida's hot real estate market and even making Lakeland a destination vacation spot. The 1920s were definitely Lakeland's golden era. The Florida land boom of the 1920s resulted in the construction of many significant buildings. Most all that are still standing today are Lakeland's community icons that truly define our rich history. And of course, there's a story behind each and every one. Keep in mind what was going on during that time. The modern auto and airline industry was born. Mass production of household goods and the U.S. victory in World War I gave us our first taste of global power. And then there was Prohibition. Let's take a look at a few of these iconic structures that are still to this day cherished by all. Whether or not you're just visiting, one of our beloved seasonal residents, or a true Lakelandite, you'll instantly recognize these historical structures of what truly defines the downtown area. First up is the Polk Theatre. Built in 1927 and designed by architect James E. Cassell, the Polk Theatre has a mezzanine, high balcony, permanent backdrop of a Venetian piazza, high twinkling stars, a cloud-covered ceiling, and exquisite terrazzo floor. Aside from the awesome grandeur of this building, there was another reason why this was Lakeland's preferred evening venue. It was the air conditioning system, a pump that used artisan well water to chill the building, the first in the county in the 1920s. The Polk Theatre opened its doors on December 22, 1928, with Pauline Frederick in On Trial. Next is the famous Terrace Hotel. The Terrace Hotel opened in 1924 as one of the state's first year-round hotels. Thanks to the advent of air conditioning, hotels were no longer forced to close for the summer due to the stifling heat. Word quickly spread of the impressive floor-to-ceiling arched windows and the intricately patterned cypress wood ceiling in the lobby, and the magnificent views of Lake Mirror. In 1924, it cost $750,000 to build the Terrace Hotel. That equates to a little under $11 million today. Wow, this grand hotel has seen some changes over the years. After 40 years as a luxury vacation destination and hit hard during the Depression era, it had to close its doors in 1986. But in 1998, it was completely restored to the very special place that many of us still enjoy today. And of course, we can't forget Florida's oldest private college, built right on Lake Hollingsworth, Florida Southern College. Florida Southern College is the oldest private four-year college in the state. But did you know that it wasn't always in Lakeland? In fact, it was in several cities before Lakeland was its permanent home. The college was originally founded as South Florida Institute in Orlando in 1883 and moved to Leesburg in 85. The college then moved again to Palm Harbor in 1901 and changed its name to Southern College in 1906. But due to fires in the early 1920s, it was relocated to Clearwater Beach and then finally moved to its current location in Lakeland in 1922. In 1935, it was renamed Florida Southern College and is home to the world's largest single-center collection of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture. And while we're on Lake Hollingsworth, check this out. This resort area was developed by J.L. Francis, located on the south shore of Lake Hollingsworth, just east of what we know today as Lakeland Yacht and Country Club. From 1950 into the 1920s, Francis Bathing Beach was a popular swimming and boating spot. Check out these fashionable bathing suits at the time. Looks like good times were had by all. Last but certainly not least is the crowning jewel of Lakeland, the Francis Langford Promenade, also known as the Lake Mirror Promenade. This magnificent lake-wide structure was built in 2 phases and completed in 1928, and later named for Frances Langford, who was a famous actress and singer from Lakeland. The massive stone boardwalk, pillars, and gates were designed by world premier architect Charles Levitt and was modeled after Chicago's World's Fair Court of Honor. However, there's some things missing along the way. The structure was supposed to include a ticket booth and an amphitheater, but those ideas were canceled due to the economic crash of 1929. And rumor has it that the tunnels running underneath were used during Prohibition and also to transfer money from businesses to banks. If you'd like to learn more about the Lake Mirror Promenade and all of its secrets, I invite you to take the walking tour that's held every 4th Tuesday in the month. If you'd like to make a reservation for this free tour, I put the number for you below. I hope you enjoyed our look at life in Lakeland in the Golden Era. And if you did, hit like. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know your favorite historical spot in Lakeland. Oh, and if you think that maybe you'd like to own a little slice of Lakeland history, I put a link below to all the available homes that were built in the 1920s and 30s, some of which have been restored beautifully. So enjoy! I'm Lisa Kelly, Lakeland Homes and Lifestyles with Premier Realty, and until then, I'll see you on the next one. Acton had a church and a Home Depot. Not a Home Depot.